If you're planning to rewire your home, you'll want to make sure that your electrical system is made of copper, instead of aluminum. While copper wiring is more expensive, it reduces the risk of electrical fires. 6.4% of all house fires are caused by electrical fires, making them the third leading cause of home destruction. Rewiring your home with copper wire is not an easy task, and it can take up to a month. Rewiring an aluminum house can be a daunting task. The process involves removing the old wiring and installing new ones, which can be expensive. If you're lucky, most of the wiring is accessible. If you can't get to it without tearing down walls, you may have to partially open the walls, which adds to the cost of the project. A contractor may charge you more if the wiring is hard to access. Rewiring a house made of aluminum can cost between $1,500 and $10,000, depending on the size of the house. The average home in the United States is 2,301 square feet. This means that the average rewiring project can cost anywhere from $2 to $4 per square foot. If your home is bigger than that, you'll spend between $6,900 and $10,000. For a more involved job, you might try to tackle it yourself. The cost of rewiring a house made of aluminum depends on the type of wire used and the amount of aluminum used. Choosing copper over aluminum wire is a good choice if you have smart appliances or high-end fixtures. The price for wiring an aluminum home is less than that of rewiring an older home. You'll also need to make sure that your new wiring is effective and safe. Regardless of what you choose, make sure that you meet any electrical requirements required by your home insurance provider. Rewiring a house made of aluminum can be a challenging process. The job can take 3 to 10 days, depending on how many rooms you need to update and how much you're willing to spend. The project can be a hassle, and the cost of rewiring a house made of aluminum will vary, as the wiring process is a major renovation. In addition, you may need to add telephone jacks and additional switches. The cost to rewire a house from an aluminum home varies. Typically, the cost per square foot depends on the size of the house and the materials used. Rewiring a house can cost between $2 and $10 per square foot, depending on the size and age of the house, and the number of electrical circuits it needs to replace. Often, rewiring a house made of aluminum requires small openings and removal of drywall in areas. The total cost to rewire a house from an aluminum wiring is usually between $3,500 and $12,000. The larger the project, the more expensive it will be. Some homeowners prefer to do it themselves, while others opt to hire a professional. A licensed electrician will be able to inspect the wiring of their home for damage or loose connections. If you're in a hurry, rewiring an aluminum house is an ideal choice. The cost to rewire a house from an aluminum house depends on the size of the house and the number of rooms. The rate is higher than rewiring a copper home, because it will take more time to replace the wiring. But rewiring a house from aluminum wire is a great idea if you're renovating an old one, and rewiring the entire house is a good idea for safety. Compared to copper wiring, aluminum wiring is much more expensive. This means that you'll need to hire a professional electrician to rewire your house from aluminum. This process is not cheap, but it's still the best way to replace the old aluminum wiring. This method is incredibly affordable and will save you money in the long run. While it might require a bit of extra work, the final cost to rewire a house from an aluminium wiring is much lower than that of copper.